join us all for praise and worship?
Yeah.
to be close, close to your side, so heaven is real and death is a lie. I want to hear voices of angels above, singing as one. Hallelujah. Holy, holy, Yah Almighty, the great I am, who is worthy, none beside thee, Yah Almighty, the great I am.
I want to be near to your heart, loving the word, hating the dark. I want to see dry bones living again, singing as one. Hallelujah. Holy, holy, Yah Almighty, the great I am, who is worthy, none beside thee, Yah Almighty, the great I am. The mountains shake before him, the demons run and flee. At the mention of your name, King of majesty, there is no power in hell, nor any who can stand before the power and the presence of the great I am. 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 Hallelujah. Holy, holy, Yah Almighty, the great I am, who is worthy, none beside thee, Yah Almighty, the great I am. The mountains shake before him, the demons run and flee. At the mention of your name, King of majesty, there is no power in hell, nor any who can stand before the power and the presence of the great I am. The great I am. The great I am. The great I am. Great I am. The great I am. Hallelujah. Holy, holy, Yah Almighty, the great I am, who is worthy, none beside thee, Yah Almighty, the great I am.
Father, we praise your name. We praise you for who you are. We thank you for the blood of your son, Yeshua. And pray that you would just be with us through the rest of the service and continue to keep your presence in this place. In Yeshua's name, amen.
Please join us for the Veshamru and the Matovu.
Goodly are your tents, O Yaakov, your dwelling places, O Israel. As for me, through your abundant kindness, I will enter your house. I will prostrate myself toward your holy sanctuary in awe of you. O Yehovah, I love the house where you dwell and the place where your glory resides. I shall prostrate myself and bow. I shall kneel before Yehovah my Maker. As for me, may my prayer to you, Yehovah, be at a favorable time. O Elohim, in your abundant kindness, answer me with the truth of your salvation, Messiah Yehoshua. Amen.
You may be seated.
Welcome to Congregation Beit Lechem. Our goal is to fulfill our call to guard the commandments of Torah and to have the testimony that Messiah Yehoshua is the Redeemer of Israel. Rabbi's Kaddish. May his great name grow exalted and sanctified in the world that he created as he willed. May he give reign to his kingship in your lifetimes and in your days and in the lifetimes of the entire family of Israel, swiftly and soon. Now respond. May his great name be blessed forever and ever, blessed, praised, glorified, exalted, extolled, mighty, upraised, and lauded be the name of the Holy One. Blessed is he. Beyond any blessing and song and praise and consolation that are uttered in the world. Now respond. Amen. Upon Israel, upon the teachers, their disciples, and all of their disciples, and upon those who engage in the study of Torah, who are here or anywhere else, may they and you have abundant peace, grace, kindness, and mercy, long life, ample nourishment, and salvation before their Father who is in heaven and on earth. Now respond. May there be abundant peace from heaven and good life upon us and upon all Israel. Now respond. He who makes peace in his heights, may he, in his compassion, make peace upon us and upon all Israel. Now respond. Yahavah does answer you in the day of distress. The name of the Elohim of Jacob does set you on high.
He does send you the help from the set-apart place and does uphold you from Zion.
He does remember all your offerings and does accept your ascending offering. Selah.
All your plans.
We sing of your deliverance, and in the name of our Elohim we set up a banner.
I know Yahweh shall save his anointed. He answers him from his set-apart heavens with the saving might of his right hand.
Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we remember the name of Yahavah our Elohim. Amen. The Baruch. Bless Yahavah, the Blessed One.
Bless Yahweh, the blessed one for all eternity.
Baruch et Yahavah Hamabarak, Baruch Yahavah Hamabarak Leolam Vayed. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
6 days you shall labor and do all your work.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahavah your Elohim. In it you shall not do any work.
For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. That is why Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Speak also unto the children of Israel, saying, Above all my Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am Yahavah who sanctifies you. If you do turn back your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my set-apart day, and shall call the Sabbath a delight, the set-apart day of Yahavah esteemed, and shall esteem it, not doing your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words, then you shall delight yourself in Yahavah, and I shall cause you to ride on the heights of the earth, and feed you with the inheritance of Yaakov your father. For the mouth of Yahavah has spoken. Amen. The blessing over the children. Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, we pray that for these children to know that the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. Children, heed the discipline of your father, and do not forsake the Torah of your mother, for they are a fair wreath on your heads and chains about your neck. Children, obey your parents and our Master Yeshua, for this is right, and the first commandment with promise is this: honor your father and your mother, that it may go beautifully for you and your life may be prolonged on the earth. And parents, do not provoke your children, but train them up in the discipline and doctrine of our Master Yeshua, for there is no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. Remember, all the paths of Yahweh are mercy and truth to them that seek his covenant and his testimonies. Let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your hearts be pleasing before Yahweh, your helper and redeemer. The loving commitment of Yahweh is from everlasting to everlasting upon those who fear him, and his righteousness to children's children. May you always crave the word as being the pure spiritual milk by which you are nourished up to life. For whatever is true, whatever is honest, whatever is just, whatever is of good report, if there is any uprightness, and if there is any praise, think on these. Finally, the peace of Elohim, which surpasses all knowledge, will keep your hearts and your minds through Yeshua the Messiah. Amen. Please stand for the Messiah prayer. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who has given us the way of salvation and Messiah Yehoshua.
You walked among us filled with your Spirit, the only one who ever fulfilled the Torah perfectly.
He healed the sick and raised the dead. The multitudes of our people sought his touch.
He taught as no other man taught, bringing forth the treasures of the Torah with authority.
How the children sought him, the lepers he touched and made clean.
How the despised and the outcast found love and release from their sins. How the hypocrites feared him, whose words uncovered their sin.
Despised and rejected, acquainted with grief, he bore the sins of Israel.
All of us like sheep went astray, turned every one to his own way.
Our iniquities were laid upon our king. The sins of this world became his burden to bear.
He rose from the dead and opened the way to life everlasting. Praise be to his name.
We are in him, his spirit empowers. New life is ours with joy and peace. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu et derech hayeshua b'Mashiach Yehoshua. Amen. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us the way of salvation in Messiah Yehoshua. Amen. The blessing of the Shema. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer or Uvarei Chosek Osei Shalom Uvarei Ra. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who forms light and creates darkness, makes peace and creates evil. The Shema. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malkuto, Leolam Vayed. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh is one. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom for all eternity. V'ahavta et Yahweh Elohecha b'kol lavavcha u'b'kol nafshecha u'b'kol me'adecha v'hayu ha'chaverim ha'ele asher anoki matzavaka hayom al levavecha v'shizan tam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivteka v'vatecha u'vlektecha v'aderek u'shakbaka u'kamecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu l'toftot vein aneka, uktav tam al mezuzot ve'teka u'ish araka. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And have these words which I command you this day be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently to your children, and speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you retire, and when you arise. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and let them be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. V'havtah l'recha kamoka. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Amen.
You may be seated.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There is to be one Torah for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among you. Numbers 15:16. If you'll join me in the Ayin Kamoka. Ayin Kamoka Velohim Yehovah V'yein Kemaseka Melkuka Melku Kol Amim Umem Sheltaka Bekal Dor Vador Yehovah Melech Yehovah Malak Yehovah Yimluk Leolam Vayed Yehovah Oz Leomitain Yehovah Yevarek Edamo Shalom. There is none like you among their gods, Yehovah, and there is nothing like your works. Your kingdom is a kingdom throughout all generations, and your dominion is forever. Yehovah reigns, Yehovah has reigned, Yehovah will reign forever and ever. Yehovah will give strength to his people, Yehovah will bless his people with peace. When the ark would travel, Vayehi bin Zoharon, Veyomer Moshe, Kuma Yehovah, Veyafutzu Oiveka, Veyanusu Mesaneka, Mepaneka, Hi Mizeon, Teze Torah, Ki Mizeon, Teze Torah, Udavar Yehovah, Meyarushalayim, Baruch Shenatan, Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan, Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, Mikadushu Ato. When the ark would travel, Moshe would say, Arise, Yehovah, and let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you flee from you. For the Torah will go forth from Zion, and the word of Yehovah from Yerushalayim. Blessed is he who gave the Torah to his people Israel in his holiness. Amen.
Nagila,
May the Father of compassion have mercy on the nation that is born by him, and may he remember the covenant of the spiritually mighty. May he rescue our souls from the bad times and upbraid the evil inclination to leave those born by him. Graciously make us an eternal remnant and fulfill our requests in good measure for salvation and mercy. May he help shield and save all who take refuge in him. Now let us respond. Amen. All of you ascribe greatness to our Elohim and give honor to the Torah. Arise, Bil ben Abraham, an Israelite, and come to the Bema to read from the Torah. Blessed is he who gave the Torah to his people Israel in his holiness. Amen. Baruchu et Yehovah Hamvarak. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam asher bakar benu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Yehovah Notein HaTorah. Amen. Blessed are you, Yehovah our Elohim, King of the universe, who has chosen us from all peoples and given us his Torah. Blessed are you, Yehovah, giver of the Torah.
The reading this morning will be from Shemot 34, 10 through 33, the Maftir 34 through 35. And he said, See, I am making a covenant. Before all your people I am going to do wonders such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among you shall see the work of Yehovah, for what I am doing with you is awesome. Guard what I command you today. See, I am driving out from before you the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Pezerite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Guard yourself, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you are going, lest it be a snare in your midst. But break down their slaughter places, and smash their pillars, and cut down their Asherim. For you do not bow yourself to another mighty one. For Yehovah, whose name is jealous, is a jealous El. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they whore their mighty ones, and slaughter to their mighty ones. And one of them invites you, and you eat in his slaughterings. And you take of his daughters for your sons, and his daughters whore after their mighty ones, and make your sons whore after their mighty ones. Do not make a molded mighty one for yourself. Guard the festival of Mazot. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, and the appointed time of the new moon of Abib, because it is the new moon of Abib, you shall come out from Mitzrayim. Every one opening the womb is mine, and every firstborn among your livestock, whether bull or sheep. But the firstborn of a donkey you shall ransom with a lamb, and if you do not ransom, then you shall break his neck. For every firstborn of your sons shall be ransomed, and they shall not appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you work, but on the 7th day you rest. In plowing time and in harvest you rest, and perform the festival of Shavuot for yourself, for the firstfruits of wheat harvest, and the festival of ingathering at the turn of the year. 3 times in the year all your men are to appear before the Master, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, the Elohim of Israel. For I dispose nations before you, and shall enlarge your borders, and let no one covet your land when you go up to appear before Yehovah your Elohim 3 times in the year. Do not slay the blood of my slaughterings with leaven, and do not let the slaughterings of the festival of Pesach remain until morning. Bring the first of the firstfruits of your land to the house of Yehovah your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. And Yehovah said to Moshe, Write these words, for according to the mouth of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. And he was there with Yehovah 40 days and 40 nights. He did not eat bread, and he did not drink water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 words. And it came to be when Moshe came down from Mount Sinai, while the 2 tablets of the witness were in Moshe's hand, when he came down from the mountain, that Moshe did not know that the skin of his face shone, since he had spoken with him. And Aharon and all the children of Israel looked at Moshe and saw the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moshe called out to them, and Aharon and all the rulers of the congregation returned to him, and Moshe spoke to them. And afterward all the children of Israel came near, and he commanded them all that Yahweh had spoken to him on Mount Sinai. And when Moshe ended speaking with him, he put a veil upon his face. And then the maftir. But whenever Moshe went in before Yahweh to speak with him, he would remove the veil until he came out. And when he came out, he spoke to the children of Israel what he had been commanded. And when the children of Israel would see the face of Moshe, that the skin of Moshe's face shone, and Moshe would put the veil on his face again until he went in to speak with him.
Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet b'chaye olam nata b'tekenu Baruch atah Yehovah Noten HaTorah. Amen. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us a Torah of truth and has planted eternal life in our midst. Blessed are you, Yahweh, giver of the Torah. He who blessed our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, may he bless Bill ben Avraham. He has come up to read from the Torah in honor of Yahweh and his word. As a reward for this, may the Holy One, blessed is he, protect him and rescue him from every trouble and distress, from every plague and illness, and may he send blessing and prosperity in his every endeavor together with all Israel, his brethren. Now let us respond. Amen. And if you'll join us in the Vezot. Vezot HaTorah Asher Sham Moshe Lifnei B'nei Yisrael El Pei Yahovah Biad Moshe. And this is the Torah that Moshe placed before the children of Yisrael at the command of Yahovah through Moshe's hand. Return, O Yahovah, to the countless thousands of Israel. Amen. And now I'd like to call up Miriam Bat Yehuda to read from the Haftarah. If you'll join us in the opening Haftarah blessings. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam asher bakar b'nviim tovim be'ezav v'derahim hanei amarim be'edmet Baruch atah Yehovah Haboker b'Torah u'Moshe Yado u'Yisrael Amo u'Vinvi'ei Ha'emet v'Zedek. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who has selected good prophets and was pleased with their words which were spoken truthfully. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who chooses the Torah, your servant Moshe, your people Israel, and prophets of truth and righteousness.
Our reading from the Haftorah comes from Melachim Aleph, or 1 Kings, chapter 18. And after many days it came to be that the word of Yahweh came to Eliyahu in the 3rd year, saying, Go, present yourself to Ahab, and I give rain on the earth. Thereupon Eliyahu went to present himself to Ahab, and the scarcity of food in Shemaron was severe. And Ahab had called Obadiah, who was over his house. Now Obadiah feared Yahweh exceedingly. And it came to be, while Jezebel cut down the prophets of Yahweh, that Obadiah had taken 100 prophets and hidden them, 50 to a cave, and had fed them with bread and water. And Ahab had said to Obadiah, Go into the land to all the springs of water and to all the wadis. It could be that we find grass to keep the horses and mules alive, and not have any livestock cut off. And they divided the land between them to pass over it. Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself. And as Obadiah was on his way, Eliyahu met him. And he recognized him and fell on his face and said, Is this you, my master Eliyahu? And he answered him, It is I. Go, say to your master, Eliyahu is here. And he said, What have I sinned that you are giving your servant into the hand of Ahab to kill me? As Yahweh your Elohim lives, there is no nation or reign where my master has not sent to look for you. And when you said, He is not here, he made the reign or nation swear that they could not find you. And now you say, Go, say to your master Eliyahu is here. And it shall be, as soon as I am gone from you, that the Spirit of Yahweh takes you away to a place I do not know. And I shall come to report to Ahab, and when he does not find you, he shall kill me. But I, your servant, has feared Yahweh from my youth. Was it not reported to my master what I did when Jezebel killed the prophets of Yahweh? How I hid 100 of them, of the prophets of Yahweh, 50 to a cave, and fed them with bread and water? And now you say, Go, say to your master, Eliyahu is here, then he shall kill me. And Eliyahu said, As Yahweh of hosts lives, before whom I stand, I shall indeed show myself to him today. And Obadiah then went to meet Ahab and informed him. And Ahab went to meet Eliyahu. And it came to be when Ahab saw Eliyahu, and Ahab said to him, Is this you, O disturber of Israel? And he answered, I have not disturbed Israel, but you and your father's house, in that you have forsaken the commands of Yahweh, and you have followed the Baals. And now send and gather all Israel to me on Mount Carmel, the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 of Asherah who eat at Isbel's table. Ahab then sought for all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets on Mount Carmel. And Eliyahu came to all the people and said, How long would you keep hopping between two opinions? If Yahweh is Elohim, follow him. If Baal, follow him. But the people answered him not a word. And Eliyahu said to the people, I alone am left a prophet of Yahweh, but the prophets of Baal are 450 men. Now let them give us 2 bulls, and let them choose 1 bull for themselves, and cut it into pieces, and I will lay it on wood, but set no fire. And I prepare the other bull, and shall lay it on wood, but set no fire. And you shall call on the name of your mighty one, and I will call on the name of Yahweh. And the Elohim who answers by fire, he is Elohim. So all the people answered and said, The word is good. And Eliyahu said to the prophets of Baal, Choose 1 bull for yourselves and prepare it first, for you are many. And call on the name of your mighty one, but set no fire. So they took the bull which was given them, and prepared it, and called on the name of Baal from morning until noon, saying, O Baal, answer us. But there was no voice, and there was no one answered. And they leaped about the slaughter place which they had made. And it came to be at noon that Eliyahu taunted them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a mighty one. He is meditating, or he is busy, or he is on a journey, or it could be that he is asleep and he has not to be awakened.
And they cried aloud and cut themselves according to their ruling with knives and spears until the blood gushed on them. And it came to be when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the bringing the evening offering. But there was no voice and no answered, and no one paying attention. Then Eliyahu said to all the people, "Come closer to me." And all the people came closer to him. And he repaired the slaughter place of Yahweh that was broken down. And Eliyahu took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Yaakov, to whom the word of Yahweh had come, saying, "Israel is your name." And with the stones he built a slaughter place to the name of Yahweh. And he made a trench around the slaughter place, large enough to hold 2 sifts of seeds. And he arranged the wood, and he cut the bull in pieces, and he laid it on the wood, and said, "Fill 4 jars with water, and pour it on the ascending offering and on the wood." And then he said, "Do it a second time." And they did it a second time. And he said, "Do it a third time." And they did it a third time. And the water flowed all around the slaughter place, and he filled the trench with water too. And it came to be at the time of bringing the evening offering that Eliyahu, the prophet, came near and said, "Yahweh Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, let it be known today that you are Elohim in Israel, and I, your servant, have done all these matters by your word. Answer me, O Yahweh, answer me, and let this people know that you are Yahweh Elohim, and you shall turn their hearts back to you again." Then the fire of Yahweh fell and consumed the ascending offering, and the wood of the stones and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. And all the people saw and fell on their faces and said, "Yahweh, he is Elohim. Yahweh, he is Elohim."
The closing Haftarah blessings. Baruch Yata Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam, Zor kol ha'amin, Zedek mikol hadirot, Ha'el ha'niman, Ha'omer ve'oseh, Hamdabar u'kayam, Shekol devarav, Emet v'zedek, Niaman, Atahu Yehovah Eloheinu, V'nimim devarakah, Badar Kadvidreka, Akor Lo Reshurekam, Kiel Melech Niaman, Barakah Manata, Baruch Atah Yehovah, Ha'el Haliman, Mekol Devarav. Blessed are you, Yehovah our Elohim, King of the universe, Rock of all eternity, faithful in all generations, who says and does, who speaks and makes it come to pass, all of whose words are true and righteous. Faithful are you, Yahovah our Elohim, and faithful are your words, for not one word of yours is turned back unfulfilled. For you are a faithful El and King. Blessed are you, Yahovah, the Elohim, who is faithful in all his words. He who blessed our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, may he bless Miriam bat Yehuda, because she has come up to read from the Haftarah. As a reward for this, may the Holy One, the Father of our Messiah, blessed is he, protect her and rescue her from every illness, and may he send blessings and success in her every endeavor, together with all Yisrael, her brethren. Now let us respond, Amen. Thank you. And now I would like to call up Olivia bat Abraham to read from the second writings. And if you'll join us in the opening blessings for the second writings. Baruch atah Yehovah, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Mashiach Yehoshua, V'hakatavim shel ha-talmidin. Baruch atah Yehovah, noten ha-brit ha-torah. Blessed are you, Yahovah our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us Messiah Yehoshua and the writings of the Talmudim. Blessed are you, Yahovah, giver of the covenant of the Torah.
We are reading from 2 Corinthians 3:1 through 18. Are we to begin to recommend ourselves again, Or do we need, as some, letters of recommendation to you or from you? You are our letter, having been written in our hearts, known and read by all men, making it obvious that you are a letter of Messiah, served by us, written not with ink, but by the Spirit of the living Elohim, not on tablets of stone, but on fleshly tablets of the heart. And such trust we have toward Elohim, through the Messiah. Not that we are competent in ourselves to reckon any matter as from ourselves, but our competence is from Elohim, who also made us competent as servants of a renewed covenant, not of the letter of the Spirit, for the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. But if the administering of death in letters engraved on stones was esteemed, so that the children of Israel were unable to look steadily at the face of Moshe because of the esteem of his face, which was now passing away, how much more esteemed shall the administering of the Spirit not be? For if the administering of condemnation had esteem, the administering of righteousness exceeds much more in esteem. For indeed, what was made esteemed had no esteem in this respect, in view of the esteem that excels. For that which is passing away was esteemed much more that which remains in esteem. Having then such expectation, we use much boldness of speech. If not like Moshe, who put a veil over his face so that the children of Israel should not look steadily at the end of what was passing away. But their minds were hardened, for to this day, when the old covenant is being read, that same veil remains, not lifted, because in Messiah it is taken away. But to this day, when Moshe is being read, a veil lies on their heart, and when one turns to the Master, the veil is taken away. Now Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is, there is freedom. And we all, as this unveiled face we see as in a mirror the esteem of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, are being transformed into the same likeness from esteem to esteem, as from Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh the Spirit.
Could you join us in the closing blessings for the second writings? Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu hadabar haemet v'kaye olam nata botkenu. Baruch atah Yehovah asher natan lanu Mashiach Yehoshua v'halkatavim hal talmadin. Blessed are you, Yehovah our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us the word of truth and has planted eternal life in our midst. Blessed are you, Yehovah, who has given us the Messiah and the writings of the Talmudim. He who blessed our forefathers Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, may he bless Olivia ba Abraham, because she has come up to read from the second writings in honor of Messiah and his teachings. As a reward for this, may the Holy One, the Father of our Messiah, blessed is he, protect her and rescue her from every trouble and distress, from every plague and illness, and may he send blessing and success in her every endeavor, together with all Israel, her brethren. Now let us respond, Amen. Thank you. And if you'll please stand for the Etz Chaim. Etz Chaim hi lamakazim kiba Beitom heyameha ushar darakeha darkei noam ve'kol nativoteha shalom ashivanu Yahovah aleika vanashuva kahadesh yameinu kekedem. It is the tree of life to those who take hold of it, and those who support it are praiseworthy. Its ways are the ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Bring us back, Yahovah, to you, and we shall come. Renew our days as of old. Amen. You may be seated. Discussion real quick. So we have something. I hate online that we don't have anything about it. So does anybody have any comments on the Torah portion this week? Okay, it was Tisa. You do, Scarlett? What's that?
I had a connection that in the last chapter of it, it said
Yochanan was Yeshua's cousin.
Oh, and you just got that? That's wonderful. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I appreciate it. Did anyone else get anything out of the Torah portion that maybe we can talk about?
I read a little something different on scripture.
Paul's.
I don't know. So I read a little something different in the second writings,
Okay.
and it was in Mark, the story of the Mount of Transfiguration. And I've read it many times, but reading it in combination with the Parsha and the Haftarah portion, it's the first time I'd ever recognized kind of the significance of all three together. Moses at Mount Sinai, and then Elijah at Mount Carmel, and then at the Mount of Transfiguration, they're both there with him again. It's the same two.
Will you read it?
Here.
Yeah.
Would you like to read it?
Okay, wait, let me turn off reading. Hold on.
Well, we just read
Well, I know, but I gotta go back.
Mark 9.
Yeah, Mark 9, 1 through 10. This is in Mark 9, 1 through 10. And he said to them, truly I say to you, that there are some standing here who shall not taste of death at all until they see the reign of Elohim having come in power. And after 6 days, Yeshua took Kepha and Yaakov and Yochanan and led them up on a high mountain alone by themselves, and he was transformed before them. And his garments became glittering, exceedingly white, like snow, such as no launder on earth is able to have whitened. And there appeared to him Eliyahu and Moshe, and they were talking with Yeshua. And Kepha responding said to Yeshua, Rabbi, is it good for us to be here? And let us make 3 booths, one for you, one for Moshe, and one for Eliyahu. Because he did not know what to say, for they were exceedingly afraid. And there came a cloud overshadowing them, and a voice came out of the cloud saying, This is my son, the beloved one. Hear him. And suddenly looking around, they no longer saw anyone with them, but only Yeshua. And as they were coming down from the mountain, he ordered them not to relate to anyone what they saw until the son of Adam had risen from the dead. And they kept this matter to themselves, debating what the rising from the dead meant. So they were there all 3 times. I mean, you look at Moses, he's on Mount Sinai, and he's meeting with Joshua, and then you have Eliyahu on Mount Carmel, who's meeting with he's meeting with the Father, having come down, and then suddenly you have Yehoshua and these 2 men that were ascended on these mountains, proclaiming and visiting with basically Yahweh and had covenants with him, were there at the same time.
Yeah, I like that.
So just those 3, it's like 3 in 3 separate points, 3 different mountains, but all together at one time. And we're pretty sure that Yehoshua was there at the time of Moshe, and when he met with Eliyahu probably as well.
Right. Oh, that's great.
I want to ask a question.
Okay, what would that be?
So,
This is Joel.
since it's near Passover, like when we have the unleavened bread,
Mm-hmm.
but we're actually, like when we go up there, we're actually eating not unleavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought of it a little bit weird because shouldn't we just be using matzah instead?
Well, unleavened bread starts in the first month of the Hebrew calendar, and we're approaching that. We're getting ready to start the Hebrew calendar in the first month. But our Torah portion doesn't always line up with it exactly, but this is talking about it. So it's really good that you noticed that, though. But come next month, we're only eating unleavened bread. Yeah, I actually really like matzah.
And the honey type.
You like that?
Honey type is good.
Okay. Yeah, Deb. Wonderful.
I really like in chapter 33 when Moshe is imploring Yahweh to go before them, says, if your presence is not going, do not lead us up from here. For how then shall it be known that I have found favor in your eyes, and I and your people, except if you go with us? Then we will be distinguished, I and your people, from all the people upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh said to Moshe, even this word you have spoken, I shall do for you. You have found favor in my eyes, and I know you by name. And then he said, please show me your esteem. And anyway, so then it goes on. And but I like that for two reasons. Is because, like, kind of like we talked about yesterday, is like Yahweh is always showing us, or last week, always showing his eternal loving commitment, and always making it clear that his eternal commitment is, or his commitment is eternal to us, and his compassion and care for us, and if nothing else, just for his name's sake. So it really puts a lot more weight on, if you're calling yourself by his name and you're saying you're in his covenant, you know you have this kind of protection, because Yahweh won't do anything that's going to disgrace his own name by disgracing his people. But that also puts on you an extra burden to make sure you're not taking advantage of that relationship, and not, it's also an eternal commitment by you to say, I'm not going to do anything to bring your name to naught. So it's like both parties are agreeing to protect the name and for his sake. And so it's like a really great, it feels really good to be in a covenant like that, where you know that Yahweh's not going to do anything to bring his name to naught. But it's also, it feels good, but it comes with the responsibility,
Yeah, that's saying how part you're talking about there, and consider that this nation is your people. And at the beginning of the Torah portion, how it's saying, it's talking about the Sabbath again, and it mentions it a couple times in here, how it says, and the children of Israel shall guard the Sabbath, to perform the Sabbath throughout their generations as an everlasting covenant. Between me and the children of Israel, it is a sign forever. For in 6 days Yahovah made the heaven and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. So that's part of that responsibility, is with the Sabbath and how important it is, and him mentioning it again. And then also I like how it says, in plow time and harvest? Because it's really easy to get, I think, caught up in our lives and caught up in what's going on. And he'll I think we rationalize. He understands that we're not being obedient if we choose to find excuses as a reason why not to honor the Sabbath. But he's laying it out right there. The most important thing they had was plow time and harvest. And he's saying even in those really important times that you take time once a week to rest, because he did.
It's almost like, in 33, it's almost like when a parent reserves their discipline for when they get home. Like, they don't shame their kid in public, they like kind of just give them that look, but they don't really like say anything to embarrass them in front of their little friends or whatever. But whenever they get home, they're gonna be, there's no consequences for what you did, but he's not gonna shame you like in front of them because of for his name's sake.
Right.
That's what it reminds me of. It's a good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so let's see, it talks about the half shekel.
The redemption price?
Yeah. Yeah, Cody.
When Moshe is on the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and how it says he didn't eat or drink food for 40 days?
Yes.
It's hard for me. I can't go without water for a day and food. So we watched the teaching, and it said the reason and the way how they think a theory is the way how he didn't drink or eat food is because he was up in another worldly area.
Right.
And now he was like almost like in heaven, kind of like when Lazarus, his pain and his sores went away from him when he died. And
Yeah. So
like
the Father's sustaining him.
the mountain was like half reality in this world, but it was also otherworldly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to actually imagine what it'll be like to be anywhere near that type of presence. So, we know that when he came down from the mountain, he broke the tablets Moshe, yeah. Yes, when he came down the first time.
Just talking about
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes me think back to the blessing over the meal at the end. He is our provider,
Right.
He provided whatever, Moshe's body needed when he was up on the mountain with him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's created all his creatures
He
and he
didn't go hungry and
sustains us.
thirsty because his body was provided.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
One other thing is, this is the portion for the golden calf,
Mhm.
and Jillian and I were talking about this morning, that it doesn't have to be a physical piece of metal or a piece of thing or image or anything that you're worshiping. There's a lot of things that we, so as a society as a whole, worship, right? Money and fame and things like that, that we bow down to, sacrifice for. But then I think, on a smaller scale in our own lives, sometimes we need to examine if we have any golden calves in our lives. And just because we're not physically getting on our knees and bowing to some image, that doesn't mean that you're not making sacrifices to something that's not Yahweh in your life. And so every year when this portion comes around, I like to try to, look inwards a little bit, examine what in my life, is there anything in my life that I have been giving more power to that doesn't need. Sometimes they're not even bad things, but I'm really bad about work because I love my job, And sometimes I have to look inward and say, am I giving too much power to work when Yahweh is the most important,
Right,
or
like
something
Paul's
like that.
referencing, he sustains us, and we want to know where we give our, like you're saying, power to. That was kind of the comment I just wanted to make is, we talk about Moshe breaking the tablets and breaking, in a sense, he's breaking the commandments, but really that was a result of the people who broke the commandments first. I mean, that was his reaction to it.
Worth of receiving what the Lord was giving them.
Well, but I mean, I think in general, we think he broke the commandment, but he broke what the representation, whereas literally that contract that requires both parties, the father did not change his part of it. It's still uphold, it's renewed, but the people immediately already let him down and broke him. And there was a comment I heard that was real interesting. Somebody compared it to, the adulterous woman and what she was made to drink from the powder on the floor and that, and look at Moshe made the people drink from the golden calf, took all that and ground it down. I thought that was a really interesting connection. I think that would be an interesting study. But we have that, and somebody's awake. Anything else speak to anyone else that they want to comment on?
Jehovah still blamed them for making the golden calf.
That's right, yeah.
Even though they didn't take part in making the golden calf, they bore the responsibility because they allowed it.
So we are our brother's keeper?
Well, not only, we are. So if we turn a blind eye, we have to make sure that we're being a watchman over our brothers. But also we have to make sure that we have to take a look at our own lives and make sure we're not committing sins we're not aware of.
Yeah.
So it's a daily thing to review your life and make sure it's in order. It's not a one-time, wow, it's an everyday walk where you review your life before the Father every day. Show me if I'm doing so. That's what David kept crying out about.
That's what's so amazing about, I don't know anybody that grew up with the Torah cycle, but, we get to learn this in small chunks, and it becomes real manageable. And in not only doing this weekly, but like you're saying, to be prepared for a Sabbath, you need to be studying the Torah portion during the week. And it keeps you refreshed and understanding this is how the Father wants his people to behave. It's no guesswork. We don't have to, it's not up to us whether we're being good or not. We're just being obedient. How are we obedient? By reading his word, making sure we're understanding what he says. And it's not too difficult. He says that over and over again.
Notice the correlation in 34:24 to 1 Chronicles 4:10.
I don't think I did. Why don't you go ahead?
All right. verse 1, for I dispossess nations before you, and shall enlarge your borders. And let no one covet your land when you go up to appear before Yahweh your Elohim 3 times in a year. Alright, 1 Chronicles 4:10, the prayer of Yahweh. Call on the Elohim of Israel, saying, oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my borders, and that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, not to be in pain. And Elohim gave what he asked for.
Yeah, that's real good. I like how it ends there with the appearing before Yehovah 3 times in the year. You know, again, there's those requirements for the obedience. We don't have to guess on how to do it. That's kind of included with that. And it does go on to talk about that in this portion, or actually it's ending with it. But yeah, the festival of Shavuot, the festival of ingathering, and Pesach that we're aware of.
Commanded not to appear before him empty-handed.
Yes, yeah, he's provided everything, and it's just obvious to be thankful and grateful. You don't come empty-handed, you know.
And we're coming into a time with the redemption of the firstborn as well. Like you mentioned, the half shekel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is a real level playing field. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, everybody gave the same amount. Yeah.
Does it say give what's in your heart?
Not there. That is this. Everyone.
Is that the
poor are
building
not
of the
allowed to give
Mishkan?
less, and the rich are not allowed to give more.
So what do you do? Figure out an agreement?
No, it's a
No,
half
it's based on the
shekel.
half shekel of the
sanctuary
temple.
shekel.
Yeah,
Which I think now is like, what is it, like $17 or something like that
That's-
now, if you were to calculate it?
that's like an ounce of silver. Yeah, I guess I haven't studied
About
enough. but-
$17, something like that.
Anyone else?
Right, which is not right, exactly. It's not very much.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
certainly
make
affordable.
it too hard for us, you know.
Maybe like the widow's mite,
Yeah,
those who it costs more, it means more.
right. Yeah.
He's proud and getting too haughty, like, oh, but I could do much more than you can.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else?
I think,
Oh,
in
Miss Angie.
34, at the beginning of chapter 34, again, it brings me back to constantly looking in the mirror of Torah and our Father, and bringing that standard back to, we get so comfortable with comparing ourselves to this world. Oh, well, I don't do this or I don't do that, but then we compare ourselves to the standard, which is Yehovah. And in 6 and 7, it's that test that we need to take every single day. It says, then Yehovah passed by in front of him and proclaimed, Yehovah Elohim is compassionate. Am I compassionate? Am I just compassionate when it's convenient? Or
Right.
am I compassionate when nobody's looking? Or when it's inconvenient? And gracious, slow to anger. Ooh. Am I patient? Am I patient with those who tend to
Annoying.
be annoying? Those that our Father allows to come into my life to give me the opportunity to practice patience.
Yeah.
Slow to anger. You know, our world today is I'm in your face kind of. Anger is kind of the way to be. I'm just an angry young person. No, that's not our Father. He says no. You're to be slow to anger, and if you stop and you listen and you have mercy and all these other things, you're not going to be angry so quickly. Abounding in loving kindness and truth, and faithfulness, mercy. Do I show the same mercy to others that my Father shows me every single day? Do I show mercy? You know, forgiveness is forgiving someone for what they've done. Mercy is inviting them to your table. Do I show mercy to people that, you know, I'm not the judge to decide who deserves mercy and who doesn't. Just to show mercy. Who keeps loving kindness and is forgiving. You know, so it's just kind of that, oh wait, let me go back to the very source. Am I doing these things? And if I'm not doing these things, then I can't go beyond and do anything else. He can't use me for anything else.
Right.
And this is our goal. This is our standard.
Yeah. These are the 13 attributes that are referenced. Yeah, there's a children's show I've noticed since I've been back from my trip and gotten to spend a few days with Josephine that I don't think I want her watching because it seems to celebrate little kids being mad. I mean, I know they teach around it, but it's a real, they're always getting mad in the show and they're telling them it's okay. And wait, it just, yeah.
When you're angry, there's a way to express it. There's a way to deal with it without it becoming sin. You know,
Sure.
so there's something like teaching a half truth. Sin not.
Yeah.
And still practice mercy.
And, right.
Right. What I like too about this in the beginning of 34, it's you know, it's saying cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and I shall write on these tablets. But remember, those tablets were broken, and now Moshe has to cut new tablets, and it reminds me of the new covenant in Jeremiah, where he's taking our stony hearts and writing on them. Like we have to prepare those tablets, and he will apply the covenant on them. But we're involved with that. You know, he gave it to us once, and we had already transgressed. So.
Stony heart and replacing it with a heart of flesh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but I mean, that's what he's starting with. They're on stone tablets. He's telling us we have stony hearts. So if we prepare our hearts, they can be turned to the flesh through the Father, not, you know. So, anyone else? I think that was nice that, you know, could at least talk about it. There's nothing prepared this week, although we have Elena is going to do finish up the word study on the name. But I think are we broadcasting that or finishing? Okay, we're going to finish service and then that's in-house for. So thank everyone online, and we're going to go ahead and end. Oh, help me out. Yeah, no, we're going to finish the slides. Yes, with everyone. I'm just saying thank you. I'm just being gracious. No, not quite yet. So we'll finish our actual service, and then we'll go to our study. But if you'll join us in the repetition of the Shema. Shema Israel, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malkuto, Leolam, Hear, O Israel, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah is one. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom for all eternity. Amen. I guess I'm up here, so we'll just do this. If you'll join us in the blessing over the wine. Okay, hi Scarlett. You ready? Here, let's say it together. Baruch atah Yehovah, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei brit hagafen, Omein. Blessed are you, Yahweh Elohim, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the vine. Help me hold the bread. And blessing over the bread. Baruch atah Yehovah, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Omein. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth. And taking bread, giving thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Amen.
Michael, if you want, Jillian can sing the
That's
benediction.
awesome. We are so in need of that. Would anyone like to do pray for the peace? I'm going to let him. Oh, okay. Just got a birthday wish.
That was the
Yeah, you want your speaking. Thank you.
I have set watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem, all the day and all the night. Continually, you are not silent. You who remember Yahweh, give yourselves no rest, and give him no rest till he establishes and till he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Amen.
Thank you. And what's next? Oh, okay. you mind the microphone? Okay, thanks. Oh, he'll speak it and then you sing it, but he's under the microphone. Okay.
Father, you spoke to Moshe saying how to bless the children of Israel. Today we do not have the presence of Aaron and his sons. So in their absence, we as a congregation will read in English and sing in Hebrew how to bless the children of Israel by saying to them,
Yahweh bless you and guard you. Yahweh make his face to shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahweh lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Thus shall I put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall bless them.
Yevarechecha Yehovah